Here with Ralph Reichert, President of OBAN Shafts,
Simon.
a long-term friend of us at Precision Golf and long-term friend of us outside of work as well. Ralph is President of OBAN Shafts, which not as many of you will be familiar with as some of the other brands. So, what is it that makes OBAN different to everyone else? What is it that you guys do that would identify you more than other brands?
So I'd say probably two parts from the shaft point of view. We have a very high-end carbon fiber that we started in 2007. We added steel in 2016. And the unique part that we have, and why some may not know about us, we don't go after the volume. We really are going after the custom fitting experience to ensure that two parts. One, you're getting the best shaft for you because we have a lot of options, weights, flexes, and profiles. But then the other one is that it affords us to be able to play in that upper end marketplace where you can demonstrate what the benefits are. When people ask us which shaft is best for you, I don't know. Yeah. I can narrow it down. We always take a look at it. It's a funnel. You start widening, you start narrowing it down, can kind of get in the idea, but you really got to go through the fitting process and see how they're loading, transitioning, and things of that nature. And that's why we sell everything through high-end custom fitters, and that's been very good for us.
I think one of the things that you guys have done more than other brands is that the Devotion model, whilst it's had a slight revamp from a graphics point of view with the Tour Reserve side of things, the Revenge, the Kyoshi Purple, have all stayed in the line. Yes. And so it's not like you're looking to add a line every single year or revamp things. It's if it works, it stays in.
That's exactly, yeah. And that's, our philosophy has been, because right from the start, we were making really good shafts. All we're looking now is if you take a look at the fitting profile from an active bend profile to a firm, instead of redoing a shaft, we're just hitting gaps within that profile so that you have a couple different ones to try for it to really to optimize. And even when people ask what's the best shaft for me, well, it really depends what header you put in, how are you playing, what are you working on, all those things kind of come together. One of the things that we've done, and this was the last couple of years, was of those lines that we've had for a while, people have asked us, I love it, but I would like to see something maybe that just a little bit different. So we went in and upgraded the graphics with an ion plating, a little bit more expensive, kind of a cool look, and then giving someone a couple options as far as what to go with. So that's been good for us. An example of another one that we just come out with that's fairly unique is this the Asawa Gold, the Asawa GLD, and this one's ion plated as well. It goes from a straight ion plating, fades into gold. It's from a graphic standpoint, we've gotten a lot of compliments of how good it was. But the other thing that we've done on this is we made all the EI profiles the exact same. We didn't make any compensations for if someone was going to go to a lighter shaft that they was going to be able to get the ball up a little easier, a little spin. And what that affords, once we put it in your hands, now it's just a weight and flex change. So you can really customize it and dial it in. And that's come off of our findings with steel, because with what we were able to do when we got into steel in 2016 was work with the Shimada company out of Japan. And the unique thing about Shimada was Japanese steel. Their tolerances are extremely tight, but they also extrude, and I think they're the only ones left that are extruding shafts. So it's just a more consistent cylinder, a more consistent shape, and then we shape it into the designs that we provided. And what that allowed us to do was to come up with a different way of being able to provide more flexes. Rather than a normal soft step, hard step, you could go in a CT115, you could go anywhere from an A flex to an X, but every third of a flex. And again, really kind of dial in what's the optimal. And generally what we find is, and what we love to hear, is once that dispersion just gets to a small circle, and that's when you fit well. The part that we also focus on is the ability to jump back in there. The ability to, because of the structures, because of the materials, and what does better materials mean? It means that on your miss hits, as you're moving it across the face, everyone wants to hope they're hitting it dead center all the time, but as you move across the face, the better materials, the better shaft profiles are going to tighten that up. And for a lot of people, we tell them, hey, on your best drive, you're getting home. We want you getting home on your, not your best drive, on your missed shots. So even from a fitting perspective, we don't want the bad shots taken out. We would like them, we want to do a comparison with what we can provide against what others can provide.
And that's ultimately the quality material side of it, is what that consistency of bending and loading, twisting. You can get more stability through a lighter weight material. It affords you the ability to, so you're not having to load up certain areas of shaft. You can just, the shaft will actually perform more consistently, shot to shot to shot.
Exactly.
Better quality. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what with us being in steel in 2016 and in carbon fiber since 2007, we've grown to the extent that we can focus. We've had people say, hey, you're kind of in the right mode to be able to do some volume. Your name is good, is well established. We sort of took it the other way, and a recent partnership with the Olympic company out of Japan. The unique thing about Olympic, they're about $100 million fishing rod company.
Yeah.
And they were the first ones to develop a carbon fiber fishing rod with Torica in the mid-70s. So what they've extended to is to be able to go ultra thin ply material. When you're talking about the end of a fishing rod, to that's so narrow. They came up with ultra thin ply material, more carbon fiber, less resin.
Yeah.
What that affords you to do is you can put more layers and position them in a shaft and be able to even customize and customize that bend profile more. So we started with them when we were developing the process, and all of our concepts start on tour, and then we work with engineers really familiar with all the materials and all the capabilities to do the actual designs.
So we think with the fishing rod, how thin it is, how much it loads and bends, yet doesn't break.
Exactly.
It's when we're never going to go as soft as that in a golf shaft or as narrow, but yeah, when you can incorporate that kind of level of material, the things you can do with a shaft, maybe from a, I think, would it be from a design profile point of view, or for mixing feel, stability,
both,
or everything,
so that you can get the torque qualities you want, you can get the performance you want, and still have a good feel and a good repeatability. And probably one of the best examples, and this is new for us, it's the OBAN Airburst, and the Cobalt line was the first one we developed with them, but the newest one now is the 39 gram, and it's a true 39 gram. This 46-inch blank is 39 grams, one of the lightest shafts out there. And when we were developing with them, as you get light, you tend to get whippy and spinning.
Yeah.
So we went through several iterations with them to be able to get a shaft that feels more like an Oban shaft, where it has stability, where you're able to control spin. So someone in the lower swing speed rate, it's at 70 to 80, 85.
Yeah.
Where you need some help generating, this is it. But the other thing this does, not only gets the ball up easily, gets you a little more swing speed. It from the lower spin standpoint, now you get the run out, so you optimize your distance. This probably is one of the best examples of why thin ply, ultra thin ply comes into play, and it's
talk about ultra
phenomenal.
thin. I mean, to put into perspective, a standard grip is 50 grams. A light grip is still heavier than this, but if you look at the actual how narrow that wall is, even at the other end, that compared to, I'm going to get one of the other shafts we've got down here, compared to what you're more likely to see in a 65 gram, actually let's see what that one, that's the 60 gram there. You think how relatively little material there is in that, yet to get to the point where you can test it and trust that it's going to withstand the kind of pressures and forces that it's going to in the golf shot. That's really good. To get to that kind of weight of shots, really quite something. And there's nothing hidden in there as well.
No. And the nice thing about working with Olympic, these are our statement shafts. This is being able to do whatever you can. Yeah. We always design, don't even think about cost, and then whatever it comes up with, it's going. And this is our latest example. It's Airburst AK, and the AK stands for Airburst, and it's Kevlar. There's a Kevlar wrap in the butt section of the shaft, and it's Kevlar cloth. So that's the association with Torica that allows us some materials that haven't been followed. A couple things that are that I love about this. This is exposed carbon fiber, so you can see the weave at the top section. A lot of times you're sanding that top section, and it's difficult to put that. They mastered that. The other part about it, from a playability, from a what this shaft can do and the ball speeds it can have, it's been phenomenal. Now that's an $1,100 shaft. The other Airbursts were $750, but it was kind of about what the capabilities are and what it can do, and we're excited about this one as well. We're not looking to sell the most shafts. We just want to sell the best shafts.
And the properties that the Kevlar allows you to do, and that's the thing with shafts, you've always seen boron, tip, titanium, nickel, all these other materials that get added in because obviously graphite and resin, there's only so much you can do with it. What is it with the properties of Kevlar that are particularly useful from a golf shaft point of view?
So what one of the terms that's been tossed around a little bit more lately is hoop strength, which is being able to keep the shape through the force and the entire swing. This allows you to keep hoop strength to a very extremely high percentage. There's a company out there, Fit to Score, that does profiling of all the shafts. EI profiling of all our shafts. All of our shafts are on their system. One of the tests that they've added was the ability to test hoop strength and test of it, and this is a really high number, and we love that.
And the hoop strength stops at ovaling, so the more it ovals, the more distortion you get. Again, if you can hold the shape of the shaft, the resistance actually you don't dissipate energy away, so all the energy goes through the shaft and to the head, so you're not losing any of the load you're putting in.
Right, right. And one of the things that we've done once we've reached this, we reached out to Olympic as well. This is our first fly rod, and the fly rod was an example of just taking the best materials in the industry and just bringing them to another market. The fanaticism in golf and the love of materials and equipment and fly fishing's the same. And so this is the exact same type of carbon fiber materials as Airburst AK. In fact, the case is the same. Instead of designing a normal aluminum case, we put the materials wrapped around this too, so lightweight and strong. Of course it is. So it's a $2,200 fly rod, and we had some experts come into us with, providing the concept again, and it's Olympic sweet spot, so they were able to produce this. We produced a minimum amount of this. We're not in the fly fishing business, but for the avid, for the lover of fly fishing, like lover of golf, we thought it was a consistent message that we wanted to provide. So that's why we did that, and we're just finalizing the marketing on this. We'll be launching this shortly, but this was just fun to do. Yeah. So that's
it'll catch on.
Oh, boo.
It's and what they've done here, I'll even. The cloth bag with the OBAN Airburst, and then that's 4 segments, and part of the segments are the way these. Here, I'll even do this. I wasn't expecting to do this, but we'll go for a full unveil.
Thin that is, wow.
So this is, and you can feel that is, in golf you have to have a smooth finish.
So you know how coarse that is, yeah.
In fly fishing, you don't, and those eyes are. This is all thread wrapped, UV coated and cured. It's a champagne cork.
So if you look how thin that is, that's.
And one of the
absolutely incredible. There's a finger next to it for reference. That is crazy thin.
And one of the unique parts about this is the way this is joined. That type of joint makes it a consistent flow, so you get more feel throughout the rod. This is unique as well.
Yeah.
The part about Olympic, when they're doing this, they customized their manufacturing equipment of fly rods, of golf shafts, to be able to handle the ultra thin material. This isn't normal. This is their customization. They what we like working with Olympic, what we like working with Shimada, the things that they've done to make the level of quality of product, you don't get a tour in there. there's a lot of secrets that they put through because of the pride that they have within this, and our view of just saying, listen, we want to make the best, and we want to work with. We were fortunate to have them as partners and to be able to do this type of quality. It's fun.
Fascinating insight. One question to sort of tie up. When you kind of joined the golf shaft industry,
Mm-hmm.
when you looked at, when you kind of was looking at it and saying, right, this is an area we can get into, it sort of strikes me that there are already so many companies doing it. How do you, or what made you go, right, this is an angle we can go down that just isn't happening out there? What was the bit that made you go, yeah, that's our.
So when we started in 2007, we were taking a look and exploring which road we wanted to go down. It was just as at that point, it wasn't whether you were going to get custom fit. It was whether you're going to get custom fit. Do I get custom fit or not? And people were unsure about it. Right about that time, launch monitors were coming out, adjustable tip systems that you could now try things. So once that happened, our view was, if you make the best, we don't have to go online and tell people why our shafts are the best, and we don't. If you look at our website, we have good definitions, good specifications on there. But our message is, go to one of our fitters and test it out. If we don't beat it, if we don't win, don't buy us.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much everyone we work with, because we work with a limited amount of fitters. They're interested in the long-time relationship with their customers, and that's what we want. And we knew if we put money into materials and designs and proved it out, and the fitters we have can show what dispersion is, can show what the benefits of ideal launch spin and all the other elements that come through a fitting, that would position us where we wanted to be. And we're fortunate that we kind of started at the right time to be able to take advantage of it. And our message is simple: we just make the best. We're not going to confuse you with a lot of different elements of quality. We like what we're doing, and we love that we get to do these types of projects, just our kind of Formula One projects, where you're just making a car that you wouldn't normally drive on the road, but you get to.
So I think it gives you a great insight into the OBAN as a brand and the passion behind it. A company we've been proud to work with for the last how many years?
It's almost 2008 was 14,
15
yeah, when you were a young teenager.
Gosh, that went quicker than we thought. But yeah, great to have these sort of components to work with. We'll be certainly getting the new models into the studio. Obviously, you've got the Asawa Gold. We've had that, and we'll certainly be looking forward to testing out. And in my own bag, testing out the new stuff, because I will be building a driver this year. Long overdue, but Ralph, thank you for your time.
You bet.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Great
Appreciate
fun.
this.
And so for the OBAN range, want to test it, find out about it, let us know, and come and find us in the studio.
Simon, James, thanks so much for everything.